Welcome back to the Art of Adventure podcast. This is episode 166 with Martina Ljustina and Iva Bencun of the Zadar Outdoor Festival. The Art of Adventure is the podcast that helps you travel the world, run your business, and embark on an epic quest. You can check out the show notes for this and all the other episodes at derekloudermilk.com. So before I came to Zadar, Croatia, I found the Zadar Outdoor Festival on Instagram, and I was really excited. There was all kinds of activities, whitewater rafting, sailing, mountain bike racing, yoga, slacklining that I wanted to try. And so I connected with Martina, and she was the first Croatian that I met when I arrived in Zadar. And I got to participate in the Zadar Outdoor Festival. I did the mountain bike race. We went caving. We did a yoga workshop. And since the festival and during the festival, I got to know Iva and Martina pretty well, and they've become close friends. And I'm really excited to interview them about this festival. It's the first year that it happened, and it was a really huge undertaking. And, despite some rainy weather and canceling some events, the whole thing came together, and I was really impressed to see the product for a first-year festival. Now, our last episode 165, we talked with Carolyn Wheeler about her first-year festival, the Travel Storytelling Festival. So there's two really good episodes here for you about putting on big live events. So we'll get into today, and you'll hear both Iva and Martina talking. They are Croatian, so they have an accent for those of you that aren't Croatian. And they are two of the 6 co-founders of this festival. So we'll talk about where they got the idea, how they started putting it together, the process for the year and more for building up to the actual event, how the event ran and some of their thoughts about how it went, how they promoted it, connections that they had to have to make it happen. So it's a really close inside look at a very complex and amazing event. And I think you're really going to get a lot out of this, and it'll be really exciting to see where they go next year as well. So without further ado, here are my two good friends, Iva and Martina. Welcome back to the Art of Adventure. I'm here with two lovely ladies. They are some of the founding team of the Zadar Outdoor Festival, Iva Bencun and Martina Ljustina. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
And Martina, you and I connected on Instagram before I moved to Zadar. And that was maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, just before the Zadar Outdoor Festival. Right now, it's Thursday. We're about a week and a half since the festival finished. How are you guys feeling right now about the festival?
Well, still excited, first of all. We are very happy that the festival was successful, and we are very happy to have a lot of participants in various competitions that we've managed to have for the festival. We are still into the festival in our minds, trying to settle all the excitement that we feel and to get the impressions for everyone, and still collecting the impressions, the photos, videos, and pretty excited, still.
Okay, good. Eva?
Well, like Martina said, the impressions are settling in, and we still have to do one more activity that we postponed because due to bad weather for the first 2 days of the festival, some of the activities had to be cancelled. One we managed to postpone, and we're going to do it quite soon. So after this one is the time to sit down and discuss and, decide how to move on, because there are certainly some things that can be done better. We are aware of it now. But overall, we are very happy with the concept of the festival, because it was the first time that this type of concept was introduced in Croatia, and we think it's a really good starting point for following seasons.
Yeah, and so for the listener, I got to participate in a lot of the festival. I went caving, I did the mountain bike race, we did some yoga, did the whitewater rafting, and just to give the listener a sense, there was this peak moment at the end of the mountain bike race when they were getting ready to start the rafting race, and the planes, the equivalent, the sort of stunt planes of the Croatian Air Force were flying overhead, and there was music playing, and there's all these people out, and the high line people were slacklining across the main square, and it's just like, wow, this is all happening right at this moment. And I felt a lot of admiration for such a fantastic experience. So first of all, I want to acknowledge you guys for creating that. It was quite big. So first of all, I want to congratulate you guys on creating that experience, having that happen. It felt like a very big event. So maybe you could tell us how many people are on your team to make something like this happen, and then what even went on during the event.
Well, we did quite a complex event, I would say, and only now looking back, I'd say it was quite courageous from us, but it was also due to the fact that we were doing such a festival for the first time, so sometimes it's better when you don't know what you're going into, because then you're brave enough to do it. Because the festival had 7 different competitive activities. Besides this, it had 5 different workshops, plus it had lectures. So overall, we wanted to give a participant a possibility to enjoy in or join as many activities as they wish. We wanted to give a possibility to the whole families attending, that everybody does something, and this is what actually happened. We got some reviews afterwards, and there was this family that was saying, it was a great event. My daughter went to a parkour workshop, son went to the slackline workshop, we did running, so overall they had a great experience, and this is what we wanted to achieve. At the same time, it means that we really, literally, I don't know, if it sounds well in English, in Croatian we would say we killed ourselves because we were running everywhere and doing everything, and from, PR to carrying the rails, fences, and really, really everything. And basically we are 6 people plus 3-4 on the side helping out. So we are a small group for such a big event, and finally we're very happy we pulled it off. But definitely we see, where we can improve. But happy that we did it. It was a long time in planning, and like I said before, we see that the concept is great. We can work on it still. I mean, normally when you're doing a festival like this, we could have done 7 disciplines and that is it. We enriched it immediately for the first year with the workshops, with the lectures, which means that we really had to, cover it all in order to have it done professionally and technically, not to have any major difficulties and to follow it all up. So, yeah, we're happy we did it, and we didn't have any major problems. But we see, where we can improve. But again, we are one step ahead.
You've done a festival.
We've done a festival. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, and we can talk a little bit about some of the things you've learned. Where did the idea come from originally?
Well, idea came from the project that was initially organized by Croatian Tourist Board, the head of Croatian tourism, so to say. They had a project called 365, trying to enrich the pre- and post-season periods of the year, trying to prolong the season. And Iva was one of the people who had an idea following that project to group travel agencies from this region and to put every project that we were working within each agency all together in a festival. The idea was also to promote potentials of Zadar region to the citizens of the region, but also to our travelers, tourists, and to create a project that will have everything that we can offer at one place. Also, or at one event such as Zadar Outdoor Festival. Also, idea was to have it in the months before the main season, so the springtime.
To help extend that window.
To help extend that, yes. And the whole project started more than a year before event actually happened. We were working every week at least once. We had meetings after work hours and just developing it together and brainstorming a lot and putting our own ideas, our own experiences and knowledge into it and trying to find the best way until we found the concept that is, as Iva said before, the first in Croatia in general, and we are very proud of it.
Do you have experience planning events, either of you or people on your team?
We have to say no, except there is one partner in the project, Mr. Župan, that already organized for over 10 years the rafting regatta. So rafting is the only activity that was organized before as a competitive activity and under the name of rafting regatta for over 10 years really successfully.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there was quite a lot of participants in that. I was in one of the rafts, one of the first rafts to go down, and then when we finished, I was surprised that there was 3 hours of rafts coming behind us. Wow, that was quite an experience, that rafting.
Yeah, rafting has already the tradition here, and the whole idea was to incorporate it with other activities and to develop the others in the same way. Rafting is, you had some bura going on there.
The wind.
Yeah.
Did I tell you that the wind, there's a part of the rafting where you have to carry a raft around a falls, and the wind came and picked up our raft and blew it down the canyon into a tree, and then it fell out of the tree and punctured a hole, and then we had to finish the last 5 kilometers on a raft that was only half inflated. It was
that was an adventure.
Very exciting.
That was in purpose. We arranged Bura for the day just to have a little bit of extra experience.
Okay, the head of Croatia Tourism, he had this idea to extend the season which he was bringing tourists. Did all 6 of your team join together at the same time? How did that work for building the founding team?
Well, actually, what Croatian Tourist Board did is they announced this program, Croatia 365, which means they want to have tourism 365 days in a year. Yeah. They shared this idea with the local tourist board, and basically it was only an idea that it wasn't detailed enough. So what local tourist board did is they first looked at the whole region to see what are our advantages, and they decided that we have 4 main things where we could develop, and this is a cultural tourism, gastro-tourism, active and health tourism. Now, the next thing what a local tourist board did is to invite the hotel owners, agency owners, restaurant owners, and to invite them all to decide which group they feel they belong to, which group they want to be participants of. I myself signed up for a gastro group and active group. And I must say that in active group, we were the most active ones. The first thing that we detected in the region is that people are not aware of how many things there are in Zadar region, how many things are being offered to public in general. So one of the first activities we did is to make a presentation in town on the main forum, to make presentation not only to tourists but mainly to locals of what is being offered in Zadar region. And there was about 15 of us, 15 different agencies. One of them was offering kayaking tours, one of them was offering jeep safari, other ones hiking, biking, rafting, many different activities. And this was the first action we did. Now, after this was successfully done, we continued our meetings. And like Martina said before, the brainstorming, what could be done more in a way to promote the tourism in Zadar region. And this is how we ended up, 6 of us grouped around the idea of Zadar Outdoor Festival. We realized, seeing the other things going on in not only in Croatia but globally, that concept of festivals resounds really well with tourists in general. What started it first in Croatia was musical festivals, and everybody will already know about Ultra that is now being held. It will be organized again in Split for the 4th year, I think now. So from the musical festivals we got this idea, why don't we do a sports type of festival that will not be only for one day, but that we can spread in 4 days and have the whole region promoted through this as the ideal active holiday destination.
Super. And you have a tour company, an active travel agency.
Exactly.
And Martina, what else are you doing when you're not organizing the festival?
I was also a member of one of the agency that is part of the team.
Cool.
Yeah. And now I'm doing mostly everything around the festival for now.
Gotcha. Was everyone on the team from travel agency or tour agency?
5 of us from the agencies. 6th member is from IT, or actually the web designer. So he did everything about the visual of visual identity of the festival.
The visual identity was pretty well done. You guys have logos for each event, and you have all these promotional videos. I was pretty impressed with that for first year event.
Okay, thank you. Well, I agree. I think Hrvoje, who is the owner of company Futuro, who did this visual identity, I think he really did a great job, because it was fully professional from the start, and it helped us reach the visibility maybe that otherwise we wouldn't have. So he put a lot of effort and experience into the project.
Did you have more Croatian participants or tourist participants?
Well, for the first year we had more Croatians. I think the ratio would be somewhere about 60% Croatians, 40% foreigners. The general idea is this is a tourist project, so we would like to motivate more tourists to come and to discover the region and to enjoy the activities. On the other hand, without the support and participation of locals, it can't be done. And also it wouldn't be so interested for the tourists as well, I think, because what we aim is that tourists coming to participate in any of the activities, while they will be discovering a nice nature and surroundings, they will also get to meet locals and to see, their way of living. And because the whole idea of 4 days festival is not only to come and join the activity and do it for the day, but in the evenings we want to have the award-winning ceremony and some music, and we want to actually connect people in a different way than usual.
Yeah, when the locals feel the festival, then they are also promoting the festival to their guests. And also when we have a specific temperament, or I don't know if that's the word, but we have a different lifestyle, a specific Dalmatian lifestyle. And we want also that to be implemented in the festival for the participants to feel the vibe of how we live, to feel our... it's hard to describe it, but it's in a way love of life, or I don't know how to say, to be open to have a good fests or evening entertainment and good food, and to have all of those experiences through the festival.
What was your favorite part of the festival?
Whoa, it was a lot of parts I really enjoyed. I was very happy to see that people are really enjoying the region too. I was very happy when I get the impressions from foreign bloggers and journalists and also participants of the festival when they said, wow, I really enjoyed this route. It was so fantastic. Because we also wanted through the activities, through the competitive parts, implement the beauties of the region. So we had tourist story or story for the travelers, for the participants within each of the competitive parts, within each discipline. So the mountain bikers were thrilled with the route along the seaside, entering or finishing at the old Roman Forum, so trying to combine all those potentials and to have the activity that is competitive for the competitors.
Yeah.
So,
Eva, how about you? What was your favorite part?
My favorite part is actually the enjoyment of all the people participating, and also the support we got from locals, from local government, from people, because it's when you are doing any event, especially if you are doing it, I think, for the first time, it's very rewarding and gratifying when you feel the support of people around you. And it's like with, any activity, you are nicely surprised how many people give you this support from some sides that you didn't even expect it. And all of a sudden, whenever there was any problem or anything, there were like 3, 4, 5 people calling and saying, oh, can we help? What can we do? And so on.
Wow.
And this was really a great experience. I mean, it was really, really nice, because this is what finally we are doing it for, to promote the region. We are doing it for the local community because we want to have them enjoy something and being satisfied with the project that we are all doing together. So, yeah, there is this spirit of, being together around something that is positive, and it's just good feeling in general. It's good energy.
Excellent. Did you guys have a definition of success before the festival happened? Like, if it goes like this, then we'll be happy?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say we had very big expectations because the festival, the concept is big. It's larger than the usual ones organized. So we did have expectations in numbers that I have to say now we didn't reach in a way that we were hoping for. But it's funny because before doing it, we were mostly thinking about, success in numbers. Yeah. Because we are so used to everyday life that you measure everything in numbers. I'm going to make this much of money. I'm going to have such a growth in tourists, such a growth in whatever you expect. You have certain expectations. And then when you've done it, you realize that success can be measured in so many different ways that you didn't even take into consideration before doing it. Like, for example, what I just said, so many people reaching out and helping. I feel that as a success because, we couldn't have done it without some people that when we were starting to organize it, we weren't even taking this into account. We didn't even think that, the whole activity may depend on 2 persons that we didn't even think about. And then at a crucial point, they came out and did whatever technically or whatever they had to do. And I was thinking after to myself, well, this is a success actually, because people came to us and they wanted to help out. And so it changes your perspective of what success is. And it's nice actually to discover some completely new things and to have new windows open to you that you weren't even thinking about before.
What's an example of someone stepping in that you didn't know was going to be such a help?
Well, for example, when we were in organizing the whole thing, and for 2 activities, running and biking, we had really long routes that we had to secure. So we have to secure it physically. We had help of many volunteers that were really great. And we also had to collect many of the road signs to install them on certain things. And when we realized how many we have to collect, we were like, okay, what do we do now? Because it's not possible in a relatively short period to collect them all and to have them all delivered and so on. So we started, calling and reaching out to friends and so on. And then there was this one guy that works in a company that do constructions. And what he did, he used all of his contacts. He called to all of his friends also doing the construction business, and they pulled out the signs from the constructions that they are doing currently in order to be able to deliver them to us on time, that we can put them all on roads. And, we recollected them afterwards and gave them back. But this was an example of, just being a friend, I'd say, because, he didn't have to do it. I mean, wasn't obliged, just a good guy that wanted to help out to a project, and he really helped us a lot. So, yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Also, I would like to add the police department from Zadar. We had to have a project for closing the roads for the cycling, for the mountain bike race, and for the running. And we had a project, but the police needed to confirm everything. Without their confirmation, we couldn't do any of those 2 activities.
Yeah.
So they were really friendly and open towards us since the beginning. They gave us all the information we needed. They were really friendly and helping, and sending in examples of how people did it before for some bigger events, and sending the schedules, how to organize the volunteers and the signs and where they will be. They did the route with us. So they said, okay, here is the crucial area where you need to take a little bit more of attention and so on. So sometimes the police department is always, strict. The people think for them as a strict, and that they are here only to give the bills and so on.
Yeah.
But in this case, they were really helpful and really friendly, and really, really wanted for both race and the whole event to be successful and to be secure for all participants. And I think they were one of the surprises in a good way.
Yeah, they were extremely supportive.
That's amazing.
This is what I'm saying. It was from the beginning of the project. There was such a good energy about it.
Yeah.
Ever since the beginning, and always along the way, people were helping out, and sometimes we were just surprised from somewhere where we didn't expect it. We got extra help, which really, it was great. Yeah.
You mentioned, and we talked about, you had this great branding, this visual imagery. I'm curious how you got the word out about the festival. What was your promotion strategy?
Well, we did all of the promotion ourselves. We were discussing a lot about how to do it and in which way. But to be honest, we didn't really found the PR person, so to say, in Croatia that will be specialized for this kind of event, maybe because it's a rather new concept and not as many people are doing it, or I don't know. So we had a drafted strategy of promotion, but we did it ourselves. So we reached the medias ourselves, we did the press coverage ourselves, so writing the articles, and again using our network of the people who we know that could help That was the only way, actually, we did it. Apart from doing the promotion through the social media, which was in one part done by professionals.
Yeah, what we did as well is contact the tourist board representations in different cities, because Croatian National Tourist Board has offices in Paris, London, covering foreign countries. So we connected with them also, and most of them, all of them, showed support, but obviously some more than others, depending probably on their maybe free time, on their personal, the preferences or whatever. So we got really good support from the tourist board representatives in France, in UK, in Netherlands. that in Sweden. That helped us also organize the journalists and the journalists that are really covering the active stories, active holidays. So this was also quite a help from their side in promoting the whole festival.
Is there one area that really attracted a lot of people, or one promotion effort that was super successful?
Well, I would say that we didn't really had a chance, or we didn't yet done our analysis for that part, because we still have one activity that will be held on 20th of May.
Yeah.
So after that, we're going to wrap up this year's festival, and we're going to analyze what was the most successful. But I would say maybe social media was equally helpful as the local media. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Interesting. Okay.
Well, but that's yet not confirmed.
Yeah, your impressions.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. As a participant, I got to experience that peak moment. I got to experience listening to the music on the opening and closing nights, and I was enjoying chatting with the other participants while you guys were entering results or organizing things. So my experience of the whole thing was different than yours, and you didn't really get to feel the product in the same way. And I'm curious if you feel like you have a good sense of the experience of the participants.
I have to be honest and say that only a week maybe after the festival, I started having a better sense of how it all went, because we were so wrapped up with technical part and doing everything that the organization goes as smooth as possible, that we didn't unfortunately have so much time to interact with the participants and to feel their experience better. So only afterwards I got in touch with some of the participants, and then I got a real feel of the festival, and I am happy that final result or the impressions overall in general are positive, because at that moment when we were wrapped up in everything, I had a feeling that for maybe this is not so good, maybe we could have done this or we could have done that. I didn't have this, like you said, this impression from the outside, let's say. I had only from the inside.
Yeah.
So I think also for the next year, when we know everything, now we've done the technical part, and we know what we can organize better to go much easier, we will have more time to, let's say, mingle, or to have more time to spend with the participants, and then to really have an impression of their feel of the festival.
How do you collect feedback from the participants?
We contact them by email, but it's mostly through social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, comments, and reviews that we rely on.
Cool. Lots of people are probably going to be interested in the financial side of this. Is this a job where you're making a salary for yourselves? First of all, are you earning a living from this? Let's start there.
I must say for the first year, no. And we don't expect any spectacular results next 2-3 years because event like this, is the same thing like starting a business. You just have to be prepared to endure for 2-3 years until you spread the word, until you made a product, and now you can offer it to public and you can sell it. So basically, for the first year, I'd say we'll be happy if we are, on how do you say?
If you don't lose money. If you break even.
If we break even, let's do it. Yeah.
And how much does it cost to put on an event like this? And where does the money come from?
Look, I can tell you for our festival, for all the events, what our projection of cost was. And you should always count on some unpredicted costs rising. That always happens. So I don't know, in general, in different countries and different events. But for ours, I can say our cost was 395,000 kunas, which I don't know now, you will translate to euros or dollars or whatever it is.
For $40,000, $50,000 maybe?
Let's see.
Martina is a calculator.
Okay, get those together.
But this was our cost, and it got less because due to the reasons of the bad weather where we had to cancel some of the events that we were planning. We had the big opening scene planned with the parachutists, coming down from the plane with Zadar Outdoor Festival flag and so on, which is costly, but finally we had to cancel that. But on the other hand, we got some, like I said, unpredicted costs arising. So this would be more or less where the money comes from. It comes partly from ourselves as private people investing in project. It comes from the support we received from the tourist boards, because when you are organizing a project like this, you can apply to different tenders. For example, the tourist board opens every year tender for projects such as this. So we obviously applied for all of them. Some we got, some we didn't. It comes partly from sponsors, and it comes from ticket sales for certain activities. Obviously, for first year is difficult on all sides because you are having a first year project that didn't prove itself yet.
Yes.
So it's difficult to expect that either town or tourist board will support you fully because, it's something you're doing for the first time. So nobody or hardly anybody will back you up for the first year event.
Yeah.
And this is why I think the first year events are the hardest to organize because from one side you have to prove yourself, you have to organize something for the first time, which is costly. You have to advertise it for the first time, and marketing is the most expensive thing. So first year you cannot rely so much on sponsors because they as well are expecting to see if you will pull it off, how is it going to work out. And so the first year is you are relying more perhaps on people participating in it, and again you cannot reach the general public so much because in your funding you don't have so much money to advertise it properly.
Yeah.
So for all of these reasons, first year is the hardest year because your cost is high and it's very uncertain where from your money will come because you don't have full support yet because it's the first year you haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
So we are happy we did it, and now we have a project and we have materials, the videos and pictures to show for it, and now we can, it's much easier now to come to any sponsor and say, look, we did this project, it's really great, people are happy about it, and will you support us in our next year?
Cool. When you were working hard on this project and maybe having some doubts, what kept you going? What got you out of the bed in the morning to keep going on the project?
Enthusiasm.
Good question.
I think everyone who started within this group and who was working on the project had a really strong enthusiasm and really strong power of will in order to really... We felt and we still feel the project. So... and the region and the beauties, and we love the city and we love the region. So that was, I think, one of the things that were motivating all of us. We strongly believed that we can do it and that we must do it in order to promote and to show and to expand that kind of love that we feel to Zadar region and its potentials to everyone. So that was one of the key motivators for me, and also the strong enthusiasm of when you do something and when it's successful, and even the small step ahead gives you wow effect, and you really want to go further on and go more and grab more, and the excitement of changing things and people's mind, or at least trying to.
Awesome. Did you guys have mentors, or were you modeling your event after anything?
We were trying to find, so to say, benchmark for the event. Mm-hmm. So we were exploring a little bit through internet, seeing if we could manage to find some similar event. But I would say that most of it, we model it following our brainstorming and our vision of how it should be. Some of the things we might get inspiration from the similar festivals all over, but our region is very specific and we have different things to do in a small geographic area. So none of the festivals that we managed to find online had that many activities of that kind of variety. So I would say we model it mostly ourselves.
Cool. So let's get into a little bit of some of the things you learned and are thinking about what you want to do differently next year. So what's the biggest lesson for you, Iva?
Well, the biggest lesson, I think, is that we have to ourselves open more in a way, and we thought that we were already open enough, but I think we relied too much on ourselves. We were sometimes, how would I say, too smart for our own good. We thought, okay, we've seen it, we participated in different activities, and we know how to do it, and we do know how to do it, but we could have made our lives easier by integrating more, for example, sports activities, because as our background is tourism, this was in a way our strong point, and in the same way, how do you say?
Weak point.
Because we were seeing it through a tourist eyes, and we are organizing the sports festival. So what I think we should have done more, and what we tend to do more for the following events, is to integrate more the local sports organizations in a way that together we create or we recreate this event in a more effective way, because they know about sports and we know about tourism and about promotion of the region. So to combine these two together, I think this will be the best way to do the whole. I mean, this is something that will give more strength to the festival. So they can do the technical organizational part of the race itself, and we are doing the promotional part, 2 locals, 2 tourists, and doing the whole travel package and so on. This is something that we learn now and that we see can be much better for the next year, for example.
Cool. Martina, what was your lesson, your big lesson?
Well, I agree with what Iva said, but I also think I guess we will also agree on the fact that we need to have maybe more people for the final part prior to festival for the organization, just in order to arrange things a little bit more effective, so we can share our parts in a way that everyone will be responsible for each segment, so that we have a time to connect with the participants as well and to get impressions from them, because as Iva said before, we were doing everything. We really wanted everything to be perfect, and that's good, and that's normal for the first year, I guess, I believe. But next year we can just change a little bit in that way, and we will have more time to integrate with participants and to feel the festival from the other side as well.
Maybe the way will be definitely more relaxed next year in that thing, but at the same time I'm very glad that we did this from the bottom, let's say, because now we know from a technical point of view, everything that needs to be done, all in details. And I think in order for anything to grow, is very good that you as the main organizer know every little detail. Yeah. You don't have to, carry fences like we did this year. And this is also, based on the financial structure and everything, because when you're starting something like we spoke before, financially you cannot just be so open and relaxed and so on. So we were doing everything from carrying fences and so on. For example, next year we don't have to do that, but we know it has to be done, where it has to be done, how it has to be done. So this is actually, very good. I mean, like the same thing like when you're entering a new company and each of the departments, how they work, how they're set up and so on. And then you can grow them or help them grow with, an insight that you have. So, I mean, overall, I'd say it was good and much needed experience in order for us to grow with it in following years.
Excellent. Yeah. Is there anything that I haven't asked you guys about that you want to make sure that we mention?
I think we covered most of it.
Okay, I have 2 final questions that I ask all of my guests. Mm-hmm. And I'll ask Iva, the first one. If you could change or add anything to the world, what would you wish for the world to have?
The whole world?
The whole world.
I feel now like I'm on a beauty pageant. What would you do? I wish that we were more open to each other. In general, I don't know if this is, if this answers your question, but I think most of problems, most of misunderstandings in the world in general come from being prejudiced and not being open to new things and new ideas. It happened many times to me, I mean, in my life privately, that I had completely different picture in my mind about a certain situation, about a certain person, And then when I got open enough to approach it and discuss it and view it in a different way, it changed my perspective completely. I didn't get what I was expecting, and I was happy for it. So I think in general we should be more open to each other and to view people with less prejudice.
I love it. Yeah, so come to Zadar and see if it's what you expect. Okay, my final question, Martina, this is for you. What is your definition of adventure?
My definition of adventure would be to do and to feel whatever makes you push your limits further, or stepping over your limits, or exiting your comfort zone. It doesn't necessarily have to be connected with sports, but it has to change you in a way after you've done it. Excellent.
And what's the best place to find each of you individually, online, and the Zadar Outdoor Festival?
Well, Facebook.
Okay.
LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever. Facebook and Instagram are my favorite.
And what's your handle?
It's Martina.Ljustina, Ljustina.
Super.
And Iva, for you?
Well, basically the same. I mean, I'm mostly on Facebook and LinkedIn, and using more and more Twitter recently. The same. Iva Bencun, Iva Bencun. And Zadar Outdoor Festival is, there's a website, there's also the Facebook page, so you can easily find us.
Super. Thanks for being my guest today, guys.
Thanks for having us here.
All right, that was a great episode and a great event from Martina and Iva. Hope you learned a little bit about what it takes to run a big event like that. If you're thinking of putting on your own event, maybe it's smaller, probably is smaller. They gave you some useful thoughts. And if you are at a festival or some big event, you'll appreciate all the effort and things that go on behind the scenes to make it happen. It was really lucky for me to meet these two, Martina and Iva, when I first arrived. They've been super helpful beyond just creating this event, but helping me find a place to live. Martina helped get me on Croatian national television. They covered a talk that I was giving at the co-working space about location-independent business. So they've been really key connections, and it's great to have them as friends. Speaking of location-independent business, this is something that I'm really passionate about, because taking back your time and location freedom allows you to really explore who you are. And I think that's some of the best work that we can be doing, whether you're going on adventure to do it or whether you're starting a business to learn about who you are as a person. I think is part of the quest of humanity, to be curious and explore in that realm. And so I'd love to talk to you about starting a location independent business. That's what I do. I'm a business coach for location independent entrepreneurs. So if that's something you think you want to do, let's hop on the phone and I'll give you, as a listener of the show, a free 30-minute business strategy session. All you have to do is send me an email, derek@dereklaudermilk.com, or head over to the website and sign up there. That's all for today's episode. So now it's your turn to go out there and be adventurous.